Hey everybody, it's Markwell Cade with Cade Mark Law, your favorite neighborhood lawyer, back with another free resource for you. Today, we're going to talk about licensing agreements, 3 elements you should pay attention to.
A licensing agreement is a legal contract between two parties known as the licensee and the licensor. The licensee is the person who wants to use what's being licensed, and the licensor is the person who owns or controls what's being licensed. Now, the most common licensing agreements that I deal with personally are licenses for use of trademarks, for the use of copyrighted items. These things are great ways to allow someone's use of your protected work or to gain use of someone's protected work with permission. Usually, in a typical agreement, the licensor agrees to license the trademark or the copyrighted item to the licensee in exchange for the licensee paying royalties for the use of this license. Think about it this way. Spider-Man 2 for PlayStation 5 just came out. Insomniac Games doesn't own Spider-Man. Sony owned Spider-Man when they bought it from Marvel in the 90s. However, Insomniac Games had to get a license from Sony to use Spider-Man, to create the Spider-Man game. This licensing situation happens all the time. When you see Burger King kids meal toys with your favorite movie characters like the Minions, when you see crossover promotions between franchises and brands, this is often the result of a licensing agreement. Now, because of the legal ground they can cover, licensing agreements can get very complicated, very complex, and very lengthy. This is why it's important to understand 3 clauses or 3 elements that you should be looking for in any licensing agreement that you're dealing with. Most of the other clauses and elements will pretty much be the same. They'll cover the scope of the agreement, the exclusivity and territorial restrictions to the use of whatever's being licensed. But these 3 clauses are the most important when you're looking at any licensing agreement because they're going to dictate the true terms of the license. The first and perhaps most important element that you should be looking at in a licensing agreement is the financial arrangement. What royalties will be paid for the use of the license? How often will they be paid? How will payment be distributed? When will there be a discussion on the increase or the decrease of payment? These are important terms in this section that you'll want to be looking for. Now, each attorney will have a different name for this section. Every attorney drafts contracts and licensing agreements differently, but you'll want to pay attention to whatever section dictates the financial arrangements. The second most important element to be aware of in a licensing agreement is the time frame of the license. How long will this license be active? When must products be distributed? How long will we have this partnership? When can termination occur? When can we talk about a renewal? The time frame of the license is key, and you'll want to be aware of this section. The third thing you'll want to be aware of in a licensing agreement is the issuer section on quality of use. What if someone asks to use your mark or to use your copyrighted work, but the quality of their use is poor? Let's take our Spider-Man example. What if Insomniac developed a game, but the Spider-Man they developed wasn't quite the Spider-Man that Marvel owns or that Sony owns? What if it was kind of like Spider-Man, but just a little different in that the quality of the character diminished and people suddenly didn't like Spider-Man anymore? While this is a far-fetched example, it's an example that is very, very key in understanding how this element is important. You'll want to look at the section that dictates the quality of use. You'll want to make sure that that quality, if you're the licensor, is the same quality that you would administer for your products. And if you're the licensee, you'll want to be aware of the conditions and the quality that you must uphold. That's all, folks. Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been Licensing Agreements. 3 elements you should pay attention to in every licensing agreement. Once again, I am Markwell Cade with Cade Mark Law, your favorite neighborhood lawyers. Protect your brand, grow your business. Stay frosty, my friends. We'll see you next time. We hope this was helpful.